Hello, and welcome to the Corman Fantasy Cast. I'm your host, Kevin Eichels, and we're recording this live from Sweaty Garage Studios here in beautiful Hamilton, New Jersey. Thank you for joining us on what is our very first inaugural episode here of the Corman Fantasy Cast. And just so you know, our mission here is to serve our coalition of owners and provide a weekly update of all things Corman and all things fantasy. So a couple of reminders. Number one, our draft is this upcoming Sunday, September 4th at 4 p.m. If you are not here, get the fuck out of the league, period. Okay? It's here at 720 Berg Ave, same place it was last year. All of our 14 owners are back from last year. The rivalries are getting intense, and the bad feelings are starting to run pretty deep. And I'm so excited. As you can tell, I haven't shaved in a while. I've been down in the bunker doing my research, as I'm sure all of you have. We have so much to get to in this jam-packed first episode. We have all of the information you need regarding rule changes from last season to this season. And we have some pretty big changes, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Also, we have an exclusive conversation with Corman League Commissioner Brian Eichels, who joins me right now. And for the first time in Corman League history, we're going to draw the draft order for Sunday's main event, as well as configure the divisions. Like I said, the first time in Corman League history that we're unveiling the draft order before the draft begins. All of this followed by analysis, wall-to-wall Corman coverage, and ways that you, our elite group of owners, can become more involved and make this fantasy cast as good as it can possibly be.
So thank you for that.
Of course.
Commissioner here, looking forward to another great season. On a serious note, there are some rule changes this year. The council met, and we've decided to abolish the B League before it even gets off the ground. There are a lot of reasons for this, but mainly we just wanted to maintain the integrity of the league and protect the shield of the Corman. Waivers are going to be a continual rolling list instead of based off standings. Small change there. And the big one, all trades are going to go through automatically this year. I'm not deciding on the trades. No one can vote against them. If someone has a problem with it and suspects collusion, you can bring it up to us and the council will review it. And if it's obvious collusion, it will be overturned. I know Anthony Bombardieri posted on the league.
Well, let's talk about that post because, a thoughtful post. Anthony led with that. It's obviously something he was very vocal about, as well as a bunch of us were last year. In his post, his suggestion is that the decision for trades on whether to veto them or not should rest solely with the commissioner. Ultimately, you decided against that. Why is that?
Who's going to stop me if I have all the power? This is a league of the people. And if it's completely up to me, I'll fucking cheat. Let's be real.
They say most of crime is opportunity. So if you have an opportunity to get away with something, chances are you're going to try to. Not you specifically, but people in general.
And if it's worth winning, it's worth cheating.
Right. And if you're not cheating, you're not trying. So I think that it's good. It's a good safeguard that we have in place. So just to clarify, anytime that there is a trade, the trade will be assumed automatically to go through. But if somebody does have a problem with a trade, or if they think it looks fishy or there's collusion, they can reach out to one of the members on the Council of Elders, which is you, myself, CJ, or Joe Holliday, and can request an inquiry of sorts to be reviewed by the
And
Council
if it's
of Elders.
collusion, it should be pretty obvious.
Right, and in most cases these things are. Look, I'll admit, I was involved with the trade last year that if I weren't involved with the trade, I probably would have had a big problem with it myself. So, I think that it's good that we're addressing this, that we're not just leaving it as it was last year. I think all leagues have to evolve and have to be able to modify their rules. And I think it's a really good step forward for the Corman that we're modifying this this rule, and I think everyone's going to benefit from it. And I'd actually be interested to see what Anthony has to say about this. And speaking of which, this is a good transitioning point. Anthony was, it was his first year in the league last year. a league that's steeped in tradition, and Anthony was very vocal about a number of things. The trade veto policy just being one of them. So I mean, it's not that often that somebody brand new to the league speaks up the way that Anthony did, and apparently not everybody was okay with that.
I could see that, but that kind of participation is exactly the kind of owner that we need.
Absolutely, I agree. But that doesn't mean that it didn't ruffle a few feathers with some of the blue bloods, some of the old guard here in the Corman League. And that brings us to one of our segments that we're going to be trying to do weekly, as long as we can get enough involvement from our owners. It's called the Corman Call-Out. So without further ado, let's bring it to our first owner who's going to do the Corman Call-Out, and we'll bring it to Mr. CJ Aker.
Get a look at this.
Is he really doing that?
Yo, what up? CJ Aker here. Some of you know me as Fantasy Football Fantasy, but that'll soon change as I acquire this year's championship team on draft day. I'd like to thank our commish and fearless leader, Brian of the B team, for having me on the podcast and being able to kick off this season's segment of Corman's Callouts. So without further ado, I call out to you this season's Johnny Football. I'm going to take the cheap way out a bit and call out the most obvious lucky bastard in the Corman. Blue-blooded, formerly known as Negradamus, self-proclaimed Anthony Berry, wannabe son and boyfriend of the great Matthew Berry. This dude somehow managed to secure third place last season with some sorry-ass team that my 9-year-old cousin wouldn't even draft. The only reason he even made it that far was because of the killer second-half season that Blake Bortles had and the injury bug that knocked me out of it. For those of you that might not remember Negradamus, or Blue-Blooded, or Anthony Berry, whatever the hell his name is, he was the dude that had something to say about every trade, every rule, every waiver claim, every matchup, and every manager in the league every week. For how much he talked, you think you really knew his stuff, until you realize that he's only been playing fantasy football for 2 years. In a way, I kind of feel bad for him, because beginner's luck only got him a third place trophy. Well, enjoy your third place trophy, and just think you got a lot to look forward to this season, like the fact that they eliminated the B League, so you don't need to worry about being in it next season. To everyone else, good luck. Catch you on the flip side. Peace.
Well said, CJ. And something to keep in mind, all you Corman owners out there, is that we do not have to agree with your Corman callouts. We don't have to like your opinions. We just ask that you bring it every single
CJ, bring in the heat!
Absolutely. And
Good job, CJ.
speaking of bringing the heat, we have our own Corman call-out that we want to make, a joint Corman call-out to the rest of our owners. And tell
We're
them
calling out everyone.
everyone. Because the problem is that as great as the Corman was, we had about a third of our owners that were just sitting with their dicks in their hands
You know
in
who
front
you
of their
are.
computers. So look, the point and what makes a fantasy league great is not the wins and losses on the field. It's not the performance of the individual players. It's the traditions that you establish. It's talking smack on the message boards. It's making bets with cups of water to the face as the lethal currency of choice. Okay? That is where a league becomes legendary. Now, with that being said, we want to get into the main draw, the reason why you have tuned in for this episode. And that is the drawing of the draft order. Okay, and here we go. Just to explain to you, we have in this old Fanta bottle that we have repurposed as a draft apparatus. Okay, what we've done is we put everyone's name on a ping pong ball, 14 ping pong balls inside here, taped on the outside so we can't see anything. And as you can see, we have the official seal signed by the commissioner and dated today. Okay, to let you know that whatever comes out of here, in whatever order it comes out, this shit is on the up and up.
Yeah, it's totally on the up and up. That seal is super official.
Alright. So here's how this is going to work. We have two divisions. We have our Heroes division and our Legends division. Okay? As we draw, not only is it going to determine where you are in the draft, your draft order, but it's going to alternate. So if you are the first pick, you are the first person under the Heroes division. Second pick, first under the Legends division.
Odds, evens.
Right? And it goes that way. That's how we're going to line up the divisions. You can save all your bitching for draft day when you have whatever you want to say, but this is how the Commissioner and the Council of Elders have decided we are going to do this. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's break that
here we
seal.
go. Let's break the seal.
We're doing this quick.
All right.
Shake that shit.
All right. So here we go. And the first pick of the draft goes to
Boomer.
Woo! Boomer. Wow. Okay, so someone who finished near the bottom, maybe at the bottom of the league last year, has just gotten the first pick. Shake it up. Second pick goes to Mike Holliday. So,
Another bottom feeder from last year.
ironic.
These actually would have been the founders of the B League.
So far. All right, here we go. Third pick. Actually, hold on. Let's just be official here. Make it easy for you guys at home to follow. The third pick of the draft.
Chris Delahante.
Woo! Chris Delahante.
We're not writing the team names.
It's okay.
You're gonna just go with the names? Okay.
All right, you know, we already just broke. You want to start it over?
We can't.
You're right, we can't. We've already started.
Dummy.
No, that would be number 3. All right. Fourth pick in the draft goes to CJ.
C-Gay. Nice, see?
Acre Oats. All right, here we go. The fifth pick in the draft goes to
Flames Plunkett.
What can you say about a guy who you don't even know a little bit?
Just picture Weekend at Bernie's.
Gotcha. All right. Here we go. The sixth pick in the draft goes to Wayne.
Come on, man.
There we go. Okay.
Gotta
Next
say
pick
that
in the draft.
Legends division's looking like a competitive one.
Certainly is. I want to go in the Heroes division. Here we go. Number 7. What do you got there?
Bobby Buttons.
Bobby McButtons. Whew. That's really how you make your lowercase b's. We need to have a conversation. Okay.
I'm really good at uppercase B's, though.
Here we go. The 8th pick in the draft goes to Brian the Commish.
Right in the middle. Love it.
ninth pick in the draft goes to
The Silver Bullet.
Come on, man! I mean, good for you, De Silva. Number 9. All right, here we go. The 10th pick in the draft goes to Bombo Belly.
Bombo.
I'm reading what you wrote.
Bombo.
Berry. Oh, Bombo Berry.
Belly.
Bombo Berry.
My R's suck too.
It wasn't a weight joke. All right. Oh, I'm writing that down. 10.
Bombo Belly.
Bombo. Okay. Here we go. Number 11. Pick in the draft goes to
Kevin 11.
Okay. Heroes division. Whatever you want to write it. All right. All right, here we go. 12th pick in the draft goes to Wow. Unlike in the championship game, finishing just behind me is Chris Holliday. Chris H. Okay, here we go. Number 13 pick in the draft. Let's finish this up before I start sweating. Belly. Wow, which means, by process of elimination, the last pick goes to one Joe Holliday. All right, so here we go, guys. We have our 2 divisions and we have our draft order. But let's take a deeper look inside these divisions and see what we can come up with. All right, so the first thing that I noticed that jumps right off the bat is we have 3 holidays all in one division. This has to be the first time, and you would know, this would have to be the first time that we had all 3 holiday brothers stuffed into one division.
Yeah, because if I ever did it in the past, they'd crucify me, but it is what it is, and they're going to just beat up on each other this year.
Yeah, and look, I know that there's going to be some pushback. You know, that there's going to be people who aren't happy with the way that this went down. But the truth of the matter is that everything was done transparently, and it is what it is, guys. I mean, so you're going to have to make the best of this. Another thing that I noticed is that, you know, throughout the history of the Corman League, there have been 5 champions, okay, with a couple of repeat champions in there. And 4 of those 5 champions also happen to be in the Legends division, which I think is a really interesting turn of events. I think what it really does is it really clears the path for some new teams, some first-time playoff teams to possibly make it in, at least out of the Heroes division.
Well, looking at it right now, the Legends division is the powerhouse division.
I mean, it really is. I mean, when you look at, we took a deeper look inside, and we also discovered, just by analyzing, that 5 of the 6 playoff teams from last year are also stuffed into this one division. Now, what we also talked about was how things could change very quickly, right? I mean, right now, when you just look at the teams that are in each division, the Legends division looks much stronger. But we really can't get carried away with that, can we?
Well, you know, draft day's coming up, and everyone's 0-0.
Right.
Everyone's tied.
Rosters are empty. I mean, this is truly, fantasy football is the one thing you do where every year everybody starts off with a blank slate, especially in the Corman.
Well, I'm excited.
Now, just to give you an idea of how, you know, one division stacks up against another, when you take the win-loss records from last year and you combine them. The Heroes division had 40 wins last year, but the Legends division, 51 wins. Like I said, there will be some pushback, but this is why fantasy football in the Corman League is the challenge that it is. So once again, we want to thank everyone for joining us this week on our very first episode of the Corman Fantasy Cast. We ask you guys, once you view the first episode, to leave comments, to reach out to us if you want to make an appearance on the Fantasy Cast. Submit your own Corman call-outs so you can become involved with everything that's going on with this year in the Corman Fantasy League.
Yeah, join us next week. Podcasts are going to drop every Wednesday. Next week we'll talk about post-draft analysis, and we'll talk about schedules. We're going to do a Week 1 cross-division rivalry match, followed by playing everyone in your division twice. But we'll go over more of that next week. Until then,
signing off from Sweaty Garage Studios. Until next time, Ave, Atque, Vale.